Well, I think it's a great place to be. Small towns, as a rule, they're more family. It feels like a family when you come in. And this is definitely a family town. Like I said earlier, people really reach out and take care of each other. I'm part of several different either civic or church-related groups, and there isn't a need that's passed around that doesn't get met, it doesn't seem. People are just very caring and giving, and they just really want to help each other out in this community.
Search underway for missing Montezuma, Iowa boy. May 28, 2021. A 10-year-old boy is missing from Poweshiek County. Authorities are looking for Xavior Harrelson, who was last seen in Montezuma yesterday. Was it Thursday? He was wearing a red t-shirt, blue pajama pants, and black high-top shoes. Xavier is 4 feet 8 inches tall and weighs 100 pounds. He has brown hair and blue eyes.
We don't want to have to read this next story, but we have to alert you that there is another search for a missing person. They're calling this a missing and endangered child case out of Poweshiek County.
The Iowa DCI joined the search today for a 10-year-old Xavier Harrelson. The DCI just clarified he left home yesterday morning, so Thursday morning, but never came back. That night, family reported him missing. He lives at the Spruce Village Trailer Park in Montezuma. That's on the northwest edge of town, as you see on the map. Poweshiek County deputies and the state's DCI are searching the area. This includes to the west, Diamond Lake Park with a large lake. KCRG TV9's Ethan Stein met with those investigators today in Montezuma.
No one has seen Xavior Harrelson since Thursday morning. It's been more than 24 hours since he went missing, and today DCI agents joined the search. Part of the issue is the size of the area they're searching. The mobile home community where he lives is close to Diamond Lake Park, which includes a 90-acre lake. Neighbors say deputies began searching homes and cars last night, trying to find any clues.
Just cops surrounding the trailers and looking for a boy. I got off work and I seen all these cops. I was like, wow.
DCI says there are no signs that anyone forced their way into the home. This situation at this point doesn't trigger an Amber Alert, since that requires specific criteria such as a confirmed abduction. We spoke with the missing boy's father off camera. He wants people to know that they miss their son and love him very much. In Montezuma, Ethan Stein, KCRG TV9 News.
Here's a look at Xavier Harrelson one more time. Again, he was last seen 11 a.m. Thursday in Montezuma. Anyone who's seen him or knows where he is should call a new phone line set up for this investigation specifically. Here's that number on your screen, 641-623-2107, and that will connect you with the Poweshiek County Sheriff's Office.
Agents were seen leaving the trailer Tuesday where Xavier Harrelson lives with his mother. They continue to canvass Montezuma and are currently reviewing footage from a dozen surveillance cameras.
If you have a surveillance system, whether it's your home or your business, that you let us know, as there might be something on there.
Investigators are looking for any trace of the 11-year-old. His friend's mom reported him missing Thursday. The case is now gaining national media attention and the FBI is involved.
My hope is that he can be found today.
Montezuma's mayor, Jackie Boland, says the town is suffering.
It's scary and very concerning.
Xavier's mother has not said a word publicly, but now two of his beloved teachers here at Montezuma Elementary School are speaking out on his behalf.
He has a huge heart, and that's, kind of going along with did he speak to somebody, you know, because he would know no stranger and he'd be willing to help anyone out.
Xavier's teachers say they've been sick with worry since Thursday.
Yeah, I didn't sleep much that night, just thinking what he would be doing.
They don't believe Xavier would run away because his mom is disabled and the 11-year-old is her caretaker.
He would often say how he needs to be with mom and help out at home and all those things. So that's why I just feel that, you know, something's happened out of his control.
Hundreds of people searched over the holiday weekend. Authorities say at this point they are confident Xavier is not in the area.
Every moment that goes by, it's more and more suspicious and concerning, obviously. But we haven't ruled anything out.
In Montezuma, Laura Terrell, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.
As you can see at this point in Xavier's story, it's June 2nd, 2021. Remember, he was last seen May 27th. As National Center for Missing and Exploited Children explains how to help find Xavior Harrelson. And this is still relevant because he's still missing.
A national organization is now sharing information and resources to try and help find Xavier. KCRG TV9's Nicole Agee explains what anyone can do to help in this search.
This case is one of thousands the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children is helping out with. A member of its team was in the Montezuma area handing out posters in the search for Xavier. The organization says every case is different, but the most important thing in these first days of a missing child case is to get the child's picture out there. Share all of the information you can about the child and any clue about where they may have gone. In Xavier's case, we know investigators are no longer actively searching and don't need volunteers. But those who still want to help can play a role.
They can still be the eyes and ears of the community. Someone may see something, they might hear something, they might know something. So even if they're physically not searching for him, they can be that still eye and ear.
Kong Sofer says social media is also a powerful tool. She says it's helpful to keep sharing Xavier's picture and his story, as well as the number to call if you have any information. In the studio, Nicole Agee, KCRG TV9 News.
The Powashik County Sheriff's Office is offering a reward in the ongoing search for a missing 11-year-old boy.
It's been nearly 2 weeks since anyone has seen Xavior Harrelson. It was in late May, the 27th to be specific, when the Sheriff's Office and the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation first asked for help in finding Xavier Harrelson, because that's when he was last seen, according to his mom. He lives at the Spruce Village Mobile Home Park, where investigators say he walked away from his home on the 27th. Around 11 in the morning and just never returned. Now people can donate to this new reward at Montezuma State Bank. That's on 4th Street there. The Sheriff's Office tells TV9 it's going to be releasing more information about this reward tomorrow. There is a phone line set up for any tips in helping to find Xavier. Here's the number, 641-623-2107.
June 10th, 2021. $15,000 reward is offered for information on missing 11-year-old Iowa boy Xavier Harrelson. It was a start. Two weeks after 11-year-old Xavier Harrelson vanished from his small Iowa town, police are hoping a 5-figure reward will encourage people to come through. Xavier was last seen around 11 a.m. on May 27th, 3 days before his birthday. In Montezuma, about 60 miles east of Des Moines, a family friend reported him missing later that day. More than 500 volunteers and police officers have been searching the rural area with no luck so far. The Poweshiek County Sheriff's Office announced Wednesday that local businesses and private citizens have donated more than $15,000 as a fund to help garner information on his disappearance that leads to the resolution of this case. Xavier is listed at 4 feet 9 inches and 100 pounds, brown hair and blue eyes. He was last seen wearing a red t-shirt, blue pajama pants, and black high-top shoes. Anyone with information related to Xavier's disappearance is asked to call the Poweshiek County Sheriff's Office at 641-623-2107. So the community was definitely kicking in, like they said they do. Come together. Took about a week and it hit 17,000. And then on the 18th of June, reward in Xavior Harrelson's case eclipses 22,000. Montezuma Mayor Jackie Boland confirmed to Iowa's News Now the total for a fund is now $22,425.80. And that's a lot of money. Somebody needs to talk. If you have information in this case, you can call the Poweshiek County Sheriff's Office tip line at 641-452-1111 or Crime Stoppers at crimestoppersofcentraliowa.com. I'm just looking at his picture. Our baby's just out there somewhere. Keep rolling. There's more to Xavier's story.
When for a light bulb, people were dropping $50 bills.
A hardware store in Montezuma has started a new effort to raise reward money for information into missing Xavier Harrelson. That 11-year-old was last seen May 27th, now nearly 3 weeks ago. That reward fund has raised $17,000 for information leading to finding him.
KCRG TV9's Brian Tabak spoke to a local store owner about his new push to keep getting the word out.
Trees and city signs are decorated with orange ribbons. Pictures of the missing 11-year-old Xavier Harrelson are plastered on storefronts. And now, porch lights are lighting the way to try and bring more information about what happened.
The boy's still missing. He's out there somewhere. And we need to find information, something. We need to get him home or find out what happened.
Daryl Eckenberger's the owner of Hometown Hardware in downtown Montezuma. These orange lights are his idea. This weekend, he raised just under $1,000 by selling them and adding the earnings to the reward money.
Had the fishbowl here, and people were just dropping in whatever they could, 20s, 50s, $100 bills sometimes.
The popularity of these lights took off faster than he expected. Clusters of homes lighting their porches in orange, Xavier's favorite color.
It was immediate. As soon as they saw it on Facebook, it was immediate.
He says donating the bulbs is a small gesture to try and answer the question on everyone's mind.
We can, if we can get some more money towards that reward fund, somebody might see that and step forward and give a good tip, and that's what we're looking for.
In Montezuma, Brian Tabak, KCRG TV9.
It's been 3 weeks since the disappearance of 11-year-old Xavier Harrelson in Montezuma. 3 weeks for a worried community waiting for answers. Answers with a time frame that nobody knows. That's why the Montezuma community has spent weeks decked out in orange to show support for Xavier's story.
It's a lot to have a kid that 11 years old disappear.
Everywhere you look around downtown Montezuma, you see posters of Xavier Harrelson.
I think it's a little crazy to see all of the support and everything. I think it's amazing because our community is like that.
For the Bravettes softball team, it was an easy decision for how the squad would help bring awareness to the search. Although their traditional colors are white and blue, during every batting practice, the team dons orange, Xavier's favorite color.
It was something that there's not a lot what you can do, and so doing this is a great way to just show that we're in support. We support Xavier and his family, and we pray for his safe return.
The color scheme extends to wearing ribbons on the field and having spectators come prepared as well. Even opposing teams have developed their own ways to show support.
We went over to Kyoto here a week or so ago, and they did a 50-50 drawing. They also wore some ribbons. EV came to town here the other day, and they all had ribbons.
On the softball field, games serve as an escape from everything that's consumed this town.
It just helps you forget for a little bit so that you can just take a moment and you're playing, you're in the game with your friends, and then just helps you forget about it.
You have to forget about everything and just think of softball for a couple hours so you can get that off your mind. But once you go back to reality, hearing all the things about Xavier is kind of hard to listen to.
Hoping that awareness will continue to grow, the team's plan is to continue wearing orange.
I love that everyone's been able to come no matter the situation and be able to support one another, and we just hope that his name keeps on being announced no matter where it is, and spread awareness and keep up with it.
These kids are dealing with a lot, and so if there's a way that they can come out here and they can play a game that they love, but then also still show that they're in total support and awareness of the situation that's going on, I think it's great for us to have this opportunity.
So far, he's just missing. The community seems to be rallying together. His mother hasn't come out and said a word. Reward is growing.
If investigators have any strong leads, they aren't saying at this point. Nathan Borton used to race bikes with Xavier. He says it's nice to see the ribbons and all the hope that his friend will be found.
The whole town is actually trying to find him, and looking for him is actually pretty good.
Jamie Anderson says Xavier used to come over to play with her dog. She says he was always kind and respectful.
This town is pouring out because this has been such a huge shock, because it's such family oriented here, and we watch out for each other.
The sadness is mixed with mystery around the trailer park where Xavier's home is. The boy, who was never known to leave alone, is gone with no hint of what happened. His family has refused to speak to neighbors or media. Investigators say they're considering all possibilities, from an accident to a crime. Anderson says many moms are having a hard time.
You want to keep positive thoughts and pray that God has it in his hands, that hopefully somebody knows something out there and will give us an idea of where he's at, that he's safe, and maybe, something just happened to where he needed a break and just wanted some time to himself.
In Montezuma, Andrew Mullenbeck, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.
You are the mayor of Montezuma, and we were just talking for a moment. You started in January of 2020?
That's correct.
Okay, so you came in after the search for Molly and all of those things,
Yeah.
and nobody would have expected that, and that we would have something similar to that here in Montezuma now.
No.
How are you and your community doing right now?
Well, the community is suffering, honestly. It's never easy when anyone goes missing, but Xavier's a little boy, and obviously a child, and that kind of takes things to just a different level. Everyone is very concerned and honestly just scared for him.
I mean, as a community, in a short time span, you guys have gone from the highest of highs. So your high school team won a state title, and you guys were feeling proud, and things were good. And then all of a sudden, this has just hit, and
yeah,
it's just a real seesaw going on here.
Most definitely, kind of like a ton of bricks. Yeah. This one, you're right. We have had, lots of success in the last year. We've also had lots of trials and tribulations, along with a lot of other communities in the state of Iowa.
Okay. So Montezuma is closely tied with Brooklyn. I mean, I know when I was in high school, there was a good rivalry between Montezuma and Brooklyn, but there are many families and many other ties so when that happened in Brooklyn, it impacted Montezuma as well.
It most definitely did.
And as that trial was wrapping up, I would think that Montezuma kind of exhaled a little bit of relief that's done, that chapter's in our past, and almost within the same day, really.
Yeah,
this
didn't really have time to celebrate that.
No.
Although we were all, very happy with the way that all ended up, and we felt that, our sheriff's department deserved that, and along with other law enforcement agencies, of course. Mm-hmm. But this one, it was not much of a rebound there.
So what do you think the difference is between Molly's case and Xavier's case? Because with Molly, there was a ton of national media that showed up. There was press conferences regularly. So far, we've not seen that with Xavier.
Right, we have not. And I can't answer that question. I don't know the answer to that. Obviously, it's two totally separate cases, different circumstances for each case, and I'm sure that, we trust that law enforcement is doing what they feel is best right now.
Your employees, city employees, the fire department, all of those folks have really been putting in a ton of resources. How is the city of Montezuma helping to handle that, make that possible, and do you guys need some help in order to make that even?
It's really a good question, because we aren't good at this. We don't do this stuff often. This isn't something that we ever want to get good at. But everyone is definitely pitching in, coming together, and, trying to get Xavier's face out there. And as far as us needing help, we probably do. We have, the Poweshiek County Sheriff's Office has set up a reward fund, which we're hoping that'll help. It'll help make people maybe stop and think a little bit harder, and maybe they've got some tips. Anything. They'll listen to any of it. And that is really what we want. We want people to call in to the tip line if they can think of anything that was unusual on that day or prior days. We don't know. We just want them to inform law enforcement agencies of that. And that tip line is 641-623-2107.
And for your residents in your community, do you feel you're able to tell them that you feel like they're safe still? I mean, I'm sure that people
I can't tell them that. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like that is something that would have to come from Sheriff Kriegel, the DCI, that kind of thing. I guess not hearing that, we need to be on the lookout. I guess one can assume that we're safe, but assumptions aren't always a good thing.
Right.
So everyone is very cautious. Kids are scared. They really are. They're, Xavier's classmates and friends and the parents of kids that age, they're very concerned.
Reward. So can you tell me a little bit more about how this came about and how folks can help contribute to it and what your ultimate goal is with it?
Right. The reward fund came about, I heard it through Tom Kriegel, our sheriff, and People can donate, they can give cash, a check, they can wire money to Montezuma State Bank. That is where the Xavior Fund account is.
You know, how would you encourage somebody to say, you know what, maybe I should say something?
I guess you really never know. You never know if something that dawns on you that was unusual or just something that you saw, you never know if that's going to be a benefit to this case, to their investigation. I would suggest you just take the chance and give them a call and let them know what you're thinking or what you saw. They'll listen to any of it. The whole community has really come together and they're getting Xavier's face out there. Hopefully this is going nationwide. We don't know where Xavier is. And we want everyone to see his face. And that's really what we're working on right now. As a community, our surrounding communities, everyone has just pitched in that way and helped tremendously. And social media has been a big part of that. And we'll try anything. Any posters hanging everywhere, that's what we want to see.
And you are the person that's behind the Montezuma Record, which is
Right.
the official newspaper here
Right.
in Montezuma.
Yes, yes.
And I know that for you, I mean, this is, Molly just ended, all of that,
Yes.
you know. Talk me through how the communities responded. I mean, they had the same day, you get the verdict in, and then Xavier's
And then he
reported as missing.
disappeared, yes. I think they're still kind of numb from Molly. You know, that went on so long. It's like 3 years, I believe, 2018. No, the community has really bonded together on trying to find him.
To get that national attention. What do you think the difference is between that case and this one?
Well, I don't know that there's a lot of difference. It's the unknown, you know. If we just don't know what happened to the little boy. Of course, we didn't know for Molly either, but this seems to hit a little harder when it's a kid like this.
The word that's coming out from law enforcement seemed to kind of ebb and flow a little bit during Molly's case, but it's been a little quieter. Do you think that that's has something to do with the amount of attention that the Xavier's case is getting?
Probably.
Yeah.
And they don't want to. There's just so many unanswered questions right now. I think they just want to keep it quiet till they know what's what.
As a local reporter, news individual, as far as Xavier's disappearance and for your community, what kind of advice would you?
Oh, I really don't know. Things have gotten so bad for the kids and everybody. I just don't have any advice.
Every morning, Kevin and Kelly Kautzer play the card game Uno in the kitchen of their rural Montezuma mobile home. Every morning, they said they always see the boy next door, 11-year-old Xavior Harrelson, riding his blue bike outside their north-facing window. I think he tries to get our daughter's attention, said Kelly Kautzer, 51. She's 10, and they play and ride bikes together all the time. I think he has a little crush on her. But the morning of May 27th, Kevin and Kelly Kautzer didn't see Harrelson outside. I've never seen him leave the mobile home park except to go to school, said Kevin Kautzer, 59. By then, Montezuma schools had already started their summer vacation. Harrelson was reported missing that afternoon. Vigils have been held, and hundreds of community members and other volunteers have searched for Harrelson throughout the city of about 1,340 people. Both the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation and the Federal Bureau of Investigation have joined the Poweshiek County Sheriff's Office in the search. Officers have scouted for surveillance cameras on buildings in town and spent the week scanning video for clues. Thursday marked a week since Harrelson disappeared. With few leads and no signs of his whereabouts, the search for the missing boy continues. My daughter asks all the time, "Did they find him?" Kelly Counselor said. It's always the same answer. No, I wish. Police, family, and friends and neighbors say it's out of the ordinary for Harrelson to be gone from home overnight with no contact, and authorities consider him to be endangered. We still don't have anything, a tipping point, to say this is criminal or non-criminal circumstances, Mordvet said Wednesday. It's probably less likely that he walked away or ran away, since it's been 6 days at the point of this article. But it could be that. It could have been a horrible accident. We just don't know yet. We're not ruling anything out. Mordvet said authorities were told the boy was last seen the morning of May 27th near the mobile home park, where he lives with his mother of the northwest side of town. On the northwest side of town. So that's where detectives began their search. Family, friends, and neighbors have been interviewed, along with anyone who was close with Harrelson or those who might have had last contact with him, Mordvet said. The younger the child, the less likely they are to go farther away. But every case is different, Mordvet said. By Saturday, authorities expanded the search to other neighborhoods, homes, and grassy and wooded areas around town, Mordvet said. Detectives searched Montezuma's Diamond Lake Park, which is less than a mile from where Harrelson lives, with 2 dive teams. Airplanes, drones, all-terrain vehicles, horses, and dogs have been used in the search too, he said. Flyers with the boy's face and description have been posted all over the city. And on Sunday, Harrelson's 11th birthday, hundreds of volunteers searched throughout town for him. The search for Harrelson has been reminiscent of the search for Molly Tibbetts, a 20-year-old University of Iowa student who disappeared while out for a jog and was later found dead in rural Poweshiek County, same county where Montezuma is located. In July 2018, Tibbetts' hometown of Brooklyn is about 20 miles northeast of Montezuma. The day after Harrelson was reported missing, the suspect in Tibbetts' killing, Christian Bahina Rivera, 26, was convicted of first-degree murder in a high-profile televised trial. Now, this would probably be the best time to point out the information I came to understand today. And we'll get there in his story. It is very interesting that they would not think that it could be a connection here. Maybe I'll just say that because I don't like to be a killer. Little tidbit here is very interesting to me. The day after Harrelson was reported missing, the suspect in Tibbetts' killing, Christian Bahina Rivera, 26, was convicted of first-degree murder in a high-profile televised trial. Could we be looking at payback? Let me just put it out there because that just kind of ran across the brain. And that's allowed to happen. Just like Molly, we're here until it's resolved. Hopefully, we can find Harrelson and bring him back home, Mordvet said. Among those helping distribute missing persons buttons and flyers featuring Xavier's face has been Molly's Movement, a group that does community service in Tibbetts' name and pledged to move mountains to find the missing boy, the Associated Press reported. Harrelson is described as 4 feet 8 inches tall, weighing 100 pounds, and has brown hair and blue eyes. He was wearing a red t-shirt, blue pajama pants, and black high-top shoes when he disappeared, according to police. An Amber Alert was not issued after Harrelson's disappearance because it hasn't been determined to be a criminal incident, Fort vet said. He's a joyous, helpful boy, his mother's friend says. The window of the trailer where Harrelson and his mother live are boarded up with cardboard and other items. A friend of his mother, Samantha Ricks, 34, of Montezuma, said she hasn't heard from her in days. No one answered. A registered reporter's knock on the door Wednesday afternoon. TV station news crews swarmed the neighborhood, and a handful of children were playing around the mobile home park, some riding bikes, just as Harrelson loved to do. Member of Harrelson's family, whom the register reached via phone, declined to comment on his disappearance, saying they wanted to focus their efforts on searching for him. For Ricks and other community members who have been searching for Harrelson, the days since he went missing have been absolutely insane and frustrating, she said. Ricks was the one who called police. She said Harrelson's mother had asked her to help find Harrelson, but his mother didn't want to call the police herself. Ricks yelled Harrelson's name throughout the mobile home park and went door to door asking about him, she said. Ricks met Harrelson's mother about 5 years ago through a previous landlord. They had become friends, as did Harrelson and Ricks's 6-year-old son. Her son said, Ricks said, I was trying to avoid saying his name and I skipped something there. Ricks said, Harrelson is like a nephew to her. Ricks described Harrelson as joyous, remarkable, and loving, and said he always has a smile on his face, his dimples shining. Harrelson is a shy kid, Ricks added. He'll talk your ear off once you get to know him. And he's a helper. His mother has a prosthetic leg, Ricks said, and Harrelson has acted as her caregiver at times. Harrelson's kindness and his willingness to help others make Ricks fearful that he would be susceptible to danger from strangers. If someone had stopped Harrelson on the street to ask for his help, he'd say yes, she said. He's special, she added, and he deserves more. Rick's son, Kyle, added that Harrelson's kindness is one of his favorite things about his friend. He's nice, and he shares his Legos. Makes people smile a lot. I like everything about him, Kyle said, his mother smiling beside him. He's in our hearts, and we're in his, he said. Rick said she feels helpless as the search for Harrelson continues. The boy isn't one to wander, and he knew his boundaries, he said. I don't know even where to begin to look. This little boy would never run off like this. Never, she said. But she isn't going to stop looking for Harrelson and making his name and face known to others. Plans to post more flyers at local businesses, to make buttons, and to put up orange ribbons all over town. Harrelson wore a lot of orange, she said. Ricks hosted a vigil for Harrelson earlier in the week and wants to plan another. He's more than just a face on a poster, a description on a Facebook post, she said. He's a bright, loving life. I will not give up. I don't care if it's 30 years from now. The city of Montezuma will not forget that little boy's face. Samantha. Thank God for you. God for you. So much love and passion just in her words, and I so want his mother to feel the same passion. Like I'm sad and I'm mad at the same time. I'm so happy at the same time that somebody loves him this much. And it's pissing me off that it's not his mother. But thank God for Samantha. Somebody's got to tell his story. Let's continue. There is more to Xavier's story. I'm tired of seeing these grid searches. So thankful to see him at the same time. I mean, it's just also bittersweet. How many times have we seen this scene? How many more times are we going to have to? What is wrong in this world? Why do people keep disappearing? Where are they going? Who's taking them? Like, this is just crazy. People don't just disappear. So tired of it. I mean, isn't it getting old? Isn't it? I mean, the vigils, searches. Look at this terrain. More of this. Grass up to your waist. Trees everywhere. Lakes we have to drain. Parents that won't freaking speak up. I'm sick of it.
KCCI's Laura Terrell traveled there again tonight to learn more about the growing community effort to bring the missing boy home.
Videos of Xavior Harrelson swimming and celebrating birthdays show joyous moments before he disappeared. These videos are now posted all over a Facebook page dedicated to finding the 11-year-old who was reported missing on May 27th.
If all they can do is click and share online every day, you know, that helps.
Joy Van Landschoot started the online effort that's now grown to nearly 10,000 followers. She even keeps track of all the counties where Xavier's missing flyer is spotted.
We have some buttons. There's 2 different ones.
His face now covers buttons, magnets, and T-shirts. Van Landschoot, a screen printer from Brooklyn, was also behind the massive effort to find Molly Tibbetts.
That gave us a chance to see what needs are out there and how promotional products can actually help in awareness to finding missing people.
Here in Montezuma, businesses are stepping up by donating and raising money for the reward fund, which is now $17,000.
Orange is his favorite color, so somebody came up with the idea of putting orange light bulbs in your porch lights.
Daryl Eichenberger, The owner of Hometown Hardware gave away these bulbs to customers in exchange for a reward fund donation.
People came in, started just throwing their money in the fishbowl. $50, $100.
$950 raised in just 2 days. And these Montezuma sisters used a lemonade stand to raise more than $300.
Hope is all we have left to hold on to here.
Family friend Samantha Ricks reported Xavier missing nearly 3 weeks ago. She fears that despite the flyers and orange ribbons, people will forget with each passing day.
Never knowing is my greatest fear. Because there's not a minute of the day that goes by that I don't think of him.
Authorities say they aren't giving up, and neither should the public. In Montezuma, Laura Terrell, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.
The search continues for Xavior Harrelson, the missing 11-year-old boy from Montezuma.
Tonight, a community gathers for a benefit concert. Take a good look. This is Xavior Harrelson. He's been missing for about a month. Local 5's John Diaz shows the impact this community is trying to make.
Now to the Poweshiek County Fairgrounds tonight for this benefit concert. You can see many are wearing orange tonight. That is Xavier's favorite color. And while obviously organizers are trying to raise money tonight, the real goal, they tell us, is to bring Xavier home.
From a sea of orange, a tidal wave of support. Family, friends, total strangers coming in from across Iowa, most donating as they came in.
Well, I have talked to his mother and stuff, just trying to keep her positive. It's devastating. I can't imagine losing my son.
But before they arrived, volunteers like Anna Upaw helping bring this concert to life.
I had a sister that was missing last year.
So Xavier's disappearance hits close to home.
People of Iowa, I mean, they were just all over it, and they were very, very helpful and compassionate, and I don't know what we would have done without the community help.
Organizer Joy Van Landshut has been helping families navigate the pain of searching for a missing loved one since the disappearance of Molly Tibbetts.
Go ahead and do the orange here.
This concert, organized by her group, Molly's Movement.
Not only is it showing community support, but I think it also shows that even if you don't know somebody that's missing, it needs to be important because you would want the same thing done for yourself.
It has been more than a month since Xavier was last seen, and despite search efforts, folks like Anna know it gets tough, but they continue to hold out hope.
I never gave up hope with my sister. We will not give up.
In Poweshiek County, John Diaz, Local 5 News, we are Iowa.
The money goes towards a reward for information leading to Xavier. Organizers say they have raised over $5,000, bringing the total now to about $32,000.
So we're at about the 1 month mark now in Xavier Harrelson's story.
Well, this weekend marks 1 month since Xavier Harrelson's disappearance. The 11-year-old boy was last seen in Montezuma in late May. The case has gained national attention, and several search efforts have netted 0 results. If you know where he is, just call 911.
Today marks 4 weeks since 11-year-old Xavier Harrelson disappeared. Investigators say he was last seen the morning of May 27th in his hometown of Montezuma. After an initial search, investigators have not shared any new information. The reward fund for information into the disappearance has now raised more than $22,000. If you have any information on Xavier's disappearance, please call the Poweshiek County Sheriff's Office at 641-623-2107.
And the reward fund continues to grow. $31,618. This was as of June 18th. So no one comes forward. No one knows anything. That just seems like a complete impossibility. So about that spoiler I mentioned earlier, let's get back to that. A week before Christian Bahina Rivera convicted in the high-profile 2018 murder of Molly Tibbetts, was to be sentenced Thursday. His attorneys raised the possibility of a new suspect in the slaying of the 20-year-old Brooklyn, Iowa college student. Bahina's lawyers say 2 witnesses came forward after Bahina testified, pointing to a man who the witnesses alleged admitted to killing Tibbetts. The defense also attempted to connect the Tibbetts case to yet another suspect, a 2019 investigation into an alleged sex trafficking ring in Mahaska County and the alleged recent disappearances of children in and around Poweshiek County, where Tibbetts lived, including 11-year-old Xavior Harrelson. Investigators have not confirmed these claims. Now there is an update. I skipped because I had to tell you what came out first. Update says, a judge rejected Christian Bahina Rivera's attorney's request to delve into investigations of kidnapping and sex trafficking in a 4-county region surrounding the area where 20-year-old Brooklyn, Iowa college student Molly Tibbetts went missing in 2018 and was later found dead. So they're basically not tying the two together. But there's more to Xavier's story that might help you understand why some believe it should be tied. Now, I don't know if it's going to be in here, but what I do know from Molly Golightly today, who has spoken with Samantha Ricks, they are very much in the know about this case. And as I understand it, Xavier's mother was dating a guy who was tied to this very sex trafficking ring that the judge doesn't want to hear any parts of it. So even though this little boy is missing, his mom was dating someone tied to a large trafficking ring. They don't see the connection. I mean, maybe there isn't one, but his mom was dating a dude. Let it, as Country Wayne would say, let it sizzle in your spirit, see if it makes sense to you. But as of now, it doesn't make sense to the judge, and he's not considering it. But interesting, right? Xavier was last seen in Montezuma on May 27th, the day before Bahina was found guilty of first-degree murder. Motions filed by the defense demand the state turn over any evidence that might help clear their client and grant a new trial. On Wednesday morning, Judge Joel Yates delayed Bahina's sentencing, and a hearing was held Thursday to determine whether the state is obligated to turn over any additional information. A ruling is expected by week's end. So, they go on to talk more about Bahina and Molly, and I don't want to sidetrack as much as they did and twist the stories up, because this is Xavier's story. But is it connected? I mean, connected by locale, I get that, but is it connected? And the fact that Xavier's mom was dating this guy who's tied to a ring, and just when this guy's about to get sentenced, Xavier comes up missing. I don't know. It sounds like it could be some sort of payback or a hush up or something, but maybe it's not connected at all. Those are just my thoughts instantly. Let's keep rolling through Xavier's story, because we got to put the pieces together. Law enforcement has to put the pieces together. Can't just not find out anything more, and then shut down any possible avenue. So let's see what else happened. Rolling for, so claim 3, it says, Trap House may be responsible for the disappearance of Xavior Harrelson and other children. Interesting. Lahaina's attorneys allege that Lowe may be involved in the recent disappearance of Xavier Harrelson. Lowe was a previous boyfriend of Xavier's mother, and they once lived together, according to a 2019 eviction notice filed electronically. Defense alleged in court filings that Lowe may have been one of the last people to be near Xavier Harrelson's before his disappearance, but provided no evidence during Thursday's hearing. Very interesting, right? So there you go. It is there. So they're trying to, they being Molly Tibbetts, should I say alleged killer? I'm still getting comfortable with her. I'm going to say killer. He is sitting there saying, oh, no, no, no. You know, well, they're saying the 2 people came out after he testified and said, oh, this guy did it, pointed at another guy. And they're saying this guy also probably has Xavier, this guy being Xavier's mom's ex-boyfriend. Just the fact that his name is brought up in that trial, in that courtroom, and there's a kid missing, and he used to date the mom. Come on now. Y'all come on. You know you have to look into this, right? It's too close for comfort, for my personal taste. Too close. Sheesh. And now the attorneys are even trying to put it on. Goodness gracious. If they didn't try to twist it up in a way where they could get this guy off for Tibbetts' murder, then it probably would have worked more in Xavier's favor. Because it wouldn't be like, no. Because if we say, yeah, he did that to Xavier, he probably did it to Molly. Well, now they got to let this guy off. So they don't want to agree to that. I feel them. I feel where they're going with that, I think. But you got to get them both somehow, if that's what happened. He did that, and this guy did this. But the connection is like, it's hard to deny. More on Xavier's disappearance. What we know about the Montezuma missing boy. Missing since May 27th. Investigators have not confirmed any of the defense's allegations regarding Xavier's case and continue to state there is no tipping point in the investigation that would determine if his disappearance is a result of criminal activity. Lowe, who had outstanding warrants on burglary and theft charges, was arrested on May 30th, according to court documents. Lahaina's defense attorneys, who allege Lowe is involved in human trafficking, also allege at least 10 children have gone missing in or around Poweshiek County in recent years. The Register is still investigating that claim and is awaiting data. According to the Iowa Missing Persons Information Clearinghouse database, the only child currently missing in Poweshiek County is Xavier.
We have 2 people that went missing in incredibly small towns. And all we are asking is that Mr. Lahaina be given a fair shot, that through his attorneys, we be allowed to look at this information.
You've heard what the defense is requesting. It's the 3 things set forth. I guess I'd like to know the state's position regarding those 3 requests.
We resist providing anything that they're asking for. There is no discovery post-trial. They want to go and knock themselves out trying to find out all of this confusing information that's just been presented to the court. Go right ahead and do it. But there is nothing in the rules, nothing in the case law that compels the state to chase its tail because they're asking us to do it.
Today marks 6 weeks since 11-year-old Xavier Harrelson disappeared from his hometown of Montezuma. Xavier's face still covers thousands of missing posters around his hometown. People gathered at the Poweshiek County Fairgrounds last week for a benefit concert to raise money for his reward fund. Authorities have not provided updates on his case in several weeks, but one member of the Iowa DCI says this doesn't mean they've stopped looking.
We are working on it every day, and the public may not see that, the community may not see that, and since it is an ongoing investigation, there's a lot that we can't say at this point.
He says they've searched through hours of video and interviewed hundreds of people. Investigators say nailing down exactly where Xavier vanished is a challenge. He says Xavier's bicycle was left at the mobile home trailer where he lives with his mother. Neighbors call this suspicious since Xavier is known to love his bike and ride it every day.
We feel confident that there is somebody out there that knows something, if not more than one person. We want to bring Xavier home.
The reward fund for information related to Xavier's disappearance is more than $34,000. Xavier has brown hair and blue eyes and is about 4 feet 8 inches tall and weighs 100 pounds. Anyone with any information should call the Poweshiek County Sheriff's Office at 641-623-2107. A link to the FBI tip line is also available on kcrg.com.
So 6 days ago, this was what came out. Says Bahena Rivera admitted to placing Tibbetts' body in a cornfield and covering it with stalks, but testified that 2 masked men were to blame for her murder. New documents, which the judge has sealed, identified the 50-year-old, name redacted, and claimed that he was operating a sex trafficking ring out of a residence in New Sharon in the summer of 2018. Inmate 2 said he went to a trap house owned by that man, saw Tibbetts bound and gagged, and admitted to killing her. In a supplemental motion for a new trial, the defense argues that the man owning the trap house is connected to at least 10 other missing children from Poweshiek County or nearby counties. Most recently, the disappearance of Xavior Harrelson. Bahena Rivera's attorneys claim, or that's supposed to say he had a relationship with Xavier's mother, Sarah Harrelson, and they lived together for a period of time. They say through an investigation, he may have been one of the last people to see Xavier. So that just keeps coming up. I mean, I don't know. It's just interesting. 4 days ago, Xavier Harrelson's aunt starts petition to change Amber Alert guidelines. Marshalltown, Iowa. Iowa's News Now. Xavier Harrelson has been missing since May 27, 2021, from Montezuma, Iowa. Because of the criteria, his case did not trigger an Amber Alert. Xavier's aunt, Michelle Harrelson, is trying to change that. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, this is the criteria to put out an Amber Alert. There is reasonable belief by law enforcement that an abduction has occurred. The law enforcement agency believes that the child is in imminent danger of serious bodily injury or death. There is enough descriptive information about the victim and the abduction for law enforcement to issue an Amber Alert to assist in the recovery of the child. The abduction is of a child aged 17 years or younger. The child's name and other critical data elements, including the child abduction flag, have been entered into the National Crime Information Center system, NCIC. In Xavier's case, there was no known suspect or any vehicle description. In the Change.org petition, Michelle says her family and community have come together to put flyers around Iowa and on social media. There is a Facebook page that was created to spread awareness about Xavier that has 11,000 plus people nationwide in it. The petition currently has over 1,700 signatures. We need more, y'all. You already know. We got to sign. Xavier was last seen in Montezuma around 11 a.m. on May 27. He's 4'9", approximately 100 pounds, with brown hair and blue eyes. If you have any information about Xavier or his disappearance, you should call the Poweshiek County Sheriff's Office at 641-623-2107. This report is from today, being July 20th, 2021. Xavior Harrelson prayer vigil planned for Sunday in Montezuma. People in Montezuma are planning a Light His Way Home prayer vigil for Sunday to support Xavier Harrelson's friend and family and members of the community. Poweshiek County Sheriff's Office said Xavier Harrelson went missing on Thursday, May 27th. He was last known to be wearing a red t-shirt, blue pajama pants, and black high-top shoes. He has brown hair and blue eyes, and he is about 4'8" and 100 pounds. Sunday's vigil will take place at 3 p.m. at the Montezuma football field. Organizers are asking people to come wearing orange, Xavier's favorite color. The latest update from the Poweshiek County Sheriff's Office said the reward fund for information in the case has surpassed $31,600. Anyone with information related to Xavier's disappearance should call the Poweshiek County Sheriff's Office at 641-623-2107. Like I said, it just keeps coming back up. So this was just from a few hours ago. Also on July 20th, 2021. Investigator disputes connection between missing 11-year-old and Molly Tibbetts' murder. Iowa DCI's Mitch Morvett says the only thing in common is that both Xavier Harrelson and Molly Tibbetts lived in Poweshiek County. That's how you feel? That's how you feel, Mitch? Okay.
11-year-old Xavier Harrelson went missing from Poweshiek County 2 months ago. Investigators say they're open to any possibility at this point.
Local 5's Lakin McGee continues to follow this case. She spoke one-on-one with the Division of Criminal Investigation and joins us in the studio.
Guys, I asked Iowa DCI if they believe Xavier is still alive. Their response, well, they don't want to jump to any conclusions.
Here at the Division of Criminal Investigation, Mitch Morvett, the assistant director, agreed to sit down one-on-one with me to discuss the disappearance of Xavier Harrelson.
Is his family still cooperating with investigators?
They are. They are.
In the United States, an estimated 460,000 children are reported missing every year.
The vast majority of them are runaway situations and are often returned or come back home within just a matter of, a few hours, usually within the same day.
But we don't think Xavier is a runaway.
At this point, I would say no. Again, we're open to any and all possibilities, but being gone this long, probably not.
For you, working on a case like this, what's this like?
It's frustrating that we haven't been able to find him. And it's honestly, it's just heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking for the family, for friends, for these small communities, because everybody knew him just like, they did in Brooklyn with Molly Tibbetts.
Now, there has been a lot of talk about similarities between Xavier's case and Molly's. At a recent court hearing for Christian Bahena Rivera, his attorney said 2 inmates came forward saying someone else confessed to killing Molly. The attorneys argued this fits into a 2019 sex trafficking investigation and possibly the disappearance of Xavier. Now, a judge recently ruled that claim to be fishing expedition, and DCI believes that argument is a stretch.
So you don't think there is any connection with Bahena Rivera, Molly Tibbetts, and Xavier Harrelson, other than the fact they're from the same county?
Yeah, that's the only thing that we've come up with at this point. You know, we have nothing to indicate at this time that there was anything to do with human trafficking as a result in Xavier's disappearance.
Now, the DCI does have information they could not tell me, but they did say that this is not a cold case, even though the amount of tips they're getting has slowed down.
They're, of course, working hard. We know that. But also, community members haven't stopped looking for Xavier and doing whatever they can to help bring him home.
Yeah, Stephanie, that's right. So we have talked with an Indianola woman that is putting on a vigil this weekend to light the way home for Xavier.
We call it bringing him home, lighting the way, just to kind of help his friends and family, let them know that we haven't forgotten Xavier, that we're still here and we're still looking for him every day.
That vigil is Sunday at 3 at the Montezuma High School football field.
All right, Lakin, thank you so much. Now, if you at home think you may have any information that you can share, you're being asked to call the Poweshiek County Sheriff's Department. The number is on your screen.
So far, that's Xavier's story as has been told in the media. Now, Molly Golightly, Perplexed QT, and I'm sure others that I just can't think of right now have been really close to this case. Molly had Samantha Ricks actually on her panel, and what's this, July 15th, so 5 days ago today. And that's where we're going to wrap this video up, just listening to Samantha and Molly and Laura, our Perplexed QT. And stay tuned, because I'm in this thing with these ladies now. I've got to stay tuned. I've got to get his name out there. We have got to work together. And I'd already started his playlist and shared a lot of videos from those ladies. So please check out his playlist. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to share. It's not enough just to watch the story. You have to tell it. So check out all of his videos. They have a lot more information, insider information. Please go and check out Molly and Perplexed QT. And I will see you all in the comments. Don't forget to say his name, Xavior Harrelson.
Samantha, how are you? Can you hear me? Yes, we can. We can see you too. Late, like always. Well, you're good. Hey, Sam. I'm tired. Hi. What up, hon? So, I don't even know where to begin. I've been trying to kind of piece together every little bit of information that's been going around, and I don't even know. I know when I first heard everything, I threw up instantly. I threw up. I got so sick. Like, I don't, it's mind-blowing. Because it hasn't been mind-blowing enough already. Yeah, I don't even know if I have all of the information. I've still got stuff coming in. So, but how are you ladies? It's a fine morning. I'm good. Concerned. I'm praying that he's still alive, Samantha. I've been praying all night. I am too. Yeah. I mean, that's all we can do, you know. I see it differently than you guys. I see that if he was sex trafficked by James Lowe, you know what? That's a good thing. Why? Because he's still alive. He's not chopped up somewhere. Hopefully, so it's not such a bad thing if this actually happened, assuming he's kept alive. Right. Like, and that's the thing, is just, you know, when you start going down a road of thought, you know, or a scenario, or you try to figure it out, you know, It's like you get to a certain point and then something pulls you this way.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, what? And you know, I was sitting there and I was like, man, I've had numerous encounters with James Lowe. I've heard this man talk about his daughters. I've seen his love for Xavier. And I was sitting there talking to a mutual acquaintance just yesterday. Like, I just can't see him being involved in anything like this. And she says, well, you know, Jeffrey Dahmer's family didn't think so. You know, all them serial killers and rapist families didn't know. And I'm just like, it just took me back. Like, you're right. You're right. You know, like, who does know? And it's insane. It's insane trying to, you know, because you think you know somebody, even no matter how little you know them. You know, you still think that you know them. And then you find out completely different. And it's amazing how people can be two different people. And
so do you believe? All right, hold on 1 second. I just want to address somebody in chat. I understand that if this is the case and he was sex trafficked, once he comes home or wherever they place him, he's going to have years of therapy and everything else, but he's still alive. And that's the number one thing, is that he can be, there can be rehab. He can get help. It is a much better situation than finding him 10 feet under, sprinkled over alligator poop. I mean, like, this is a so much better scenario than him being dead.
Yes. Yes, very much so. Like, it's, you know, and I get so frustrated when people refer to him in past tense.
Yeah.
You know, and I understand. Yeah. I understand, you know, it could be accidental and it, you know, it's just the way words come out. But like, I catch it every time and it just, like, we don't know that yet. Don't say that. Like, don't talk like that. Like, it frustrates me. And, you know, because it's hard enough to say, you know, positive and hopeful right now. You know, I mean, without all that.
Well, Samantha, do you believe that James Lowe is involved in sex trafficking?
No, I never seen it. Like, he is absolutely nothing but respectful and compassionate when it comes to women and children.
Wow.
I mean, he is the gentleman that opens the doors. Excuse me. He was even kind of telling, he came at me like, hey, you know, you're in a bad relationship. You're putting up with, you know, like, what are you doing, girl? Like, it wasn't like he was grooming. Is that the word I'm looking for? Yeah. Like, anybody around here? Like, I can't say that. I don't.
No, grooming is their word.
Like, and then that, you know, I hear that and I'm like, man, this man has been around my children.
Oh,
you know, my daughter's 13, you know, and I'm like, you know, and so you can only imagine the thoughts that have been going through my mind in the last 24 hours.
Of course, yeah.
Right. You know, and it's sickening. It's sickening sickness in the world, you know, and it's messed up that we have to teach our kids, you know, that there's good in the world, but there's bad, you know, and it's just, can't we go back to like 300 years ago? Like,
hey, let me give a lot of people on chat are confused. Let me just give a backup story. Okay. So, as a matter of fact, it might be happening right now. Hold on. They said 9:30. That would be Iowa time. So we have an hour.
Yeah, it's 8:40 right now. Town Square is filling up fast.
So for those of you that are really, really confused and don't know what the hell's going on, the other day, for the last week or two, Molly Tippett's killer or alleged killer, Christian Rivera, he was convicted of murdering and getting rid of Molly Tippett's body in Brooklyn, Iowa. So he was convicted, no big deal, you know, was going to give life sentence. And what happened was there was been a weird twist of fate that and he told this ludicrous story that nobody believed while he was on trial. And 2 inmates who did not know each other came forward before his trial even ended and told everybody that, hey, you know, this guy's 50-year-old that was involved in sex trafficking lived at X and Y address. Another inmate came forward who didn't know the first inmate and said the exact same thing, named the exact same guy with the exact same address. So all of a sudden, the defense realizes they have something big here. And these people had the same story. These inmates had the same story that this killer told, Riviera told on the stand, except they told prosecutors 2 days prior to Riviera even telling the story. Riviera does not speak English, so this is not like something that's planned. The judge knows that, lawyers know that. But what the prosecution did, the prosecution kept this evidence from the defense. So the defense did not know that 2 days prior to Riviera telling the story or giving the story that it would have came out. So nobody knew about it. And then they finally got a hold of it. And they finally got a hold of this info. And the judge said, whoa, 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 there is enough evidence here that we need to cancel the sentencing. We need a motion that he needs a new trial, and so on and so forth. And one of the inmate number 2 that came forward had said that he was involved in Xavier's missing report. Xavier went missing the day or two, or the same day that Riviera was convicted.
Same day.
So being that inmate number 2 specifically stated Xavier's name, that he knew that Xavier was sold for sex trafficking, for a judge to put off sentencing and to hear a motion, that judge believes in what the defense is saying. So that's why we're at where we're at. And at 9:30, I said I was going to stream it on my channel, the actual hearing from the courts. And that's where we're at.
Okay.
So Riviera very well might be innocent, and his whacked out story might be the truth, because there's no way the 2 inmates that did not know each other came up with the exact same story. Oh, there's a catch too. There's a catch. The address that was James Lowe's address is now the current address of her alleged boyfriend, of Sarah Harrelson's boyfriend.
And what was the whacked out story? For those of us that don't know the whacked out story, what is it?
I just told you. Okay. I just gave the whole story. That's where we're at.
So you're saying the property that is what? Are they referring to the property as the trap house?
The 405 Chop House or whatever. Either, hold on, let me look it up. It was either... It's the address now, or was the address prior? Okay, the address in New Sharon is where Adam Mashman lives. Adam is said to be Sarah's new boyfriend. That's the address that they gave for James Lowe in 2018.
2018.
That's where the inmates came forward. They're just all connected. All these people are connected.
So 2000, yes, I moved them. I would have moved them August of 2019. That's when I met them. Kentucky and Sarah were together. They lived in the trailer court, and they were moving into a house, which happened to be my landlord. And that's how I met them. I moved them for my landlord. And I mean, since then, he's lived they were at the house. They weren't even there, I don't think, 6 months before they were evicted. And then where'd they go? I want to say they were staying with family in Searsboro. And then Sarah came back to the trailer court. And I never heard of any new boyfriend, or I never even heard of Adam. I never heard her talk about him.
Were you two best friends?
No.
Were you acquaintances or were you just friends?
Acquaintances. I wouldn't even call us friends. Like, we don't.
Their kids were friends.
Our kids are friends. Like, Xavier comes over and spends the night, and he's been to every one of my kids' birthday parties this year, you know? Kyle and Xavier connected when we were moving. So the boys were, you know, hanging out and doing their little thing while we were loading the trailer and going. And they stuck, you know, since then. And that's how, that's how I met. Like, we don't hang out. We don't barbecue. We don't, you know, sit in her house or my house for 5 hours and watch a movie. It's stop and go. Her van doesn't start. She calls me up to get the kids to ride to school, vice versa. You know, it's simple. I can't tell you, you know, I never knew about the boyfriend.
Wow.
Like, it's crazy. And if you can imagine how I felt yesterday, because I wasn't aware of my ex-boyfriend, Jeremy Parabum, being on any search warrant with James Lowe at any time. And then I've got everybody coming at me sideways yesterday, like almost like, you know, like I'm involved because of this. And then I'm like, I called him up, and I haven't talked to this man since before Christmas.
Wait, who's your ex-boyfriend?
Jeremy Parabum.
Oh.
So Jeremy's your ex-boyfriend. Yeah. Is he friends with James?
No, we never were. The search warrant, the week that I moved them, it was like we were like 5 days in. These people, they had a 3-bedroom trailer, and it took me 6 days to move them with a truck and trailer. 6 days. You would not believe, it was box after box, walking room through the trailer. That was it. Like, and we were all tired. You know, I've still got, you know, kids at home that I'm in my home life I'm dealing with on top of trying to move these. And James said they had one load left from storage. Well, storage is right behind the trailer court. They moved to the house, which is right behind the grocery store here in town. It's like 5 blocks. That's it. 5 blocks from each other. So I'm like, do you have a driver's license? He told me yes. Later find out that was a lie. Should have known better, but I was just tired. I didn't want to do another load. And so I let him use my truck. Well, instead of going and moving the last load from the storage unit, apparently he was out robbing some farmhouse or something over in the Brooklyn area. And so like 6-7 hours later, I'm like, where is my truck? I can't, he's not answering the phone. I go up to the house, and Sarah's like, I don't know. I haven't heard from him either. And it was probably a good 10, 12 hours before we found out he was in jail, and they impounded my truck. So the next morning I call the sheriff's department, and I'm like, what do I got to do to get my truck back? Like, this guy told me he had a license. I loaned it to him to move a load. What do I got to do to get back? And he's like, well, first off, it's got to be released. There is a search warrant for it. And that's what the search warrant with both of their names on it is, because the truck was in Jeremy's name and because he was operating it during the crime. And so he was out and released from jail before my truck was. Like, okay, so that was, you know, like, obviously, you know, can't trust him, you know, from there. And so I called Jeremy yesterday, and I have not talked to him since before Christmas. I don't care to, you know, it's one of those things I wish I'd never have to see his face again. But I called him up because I'm like, hey, what's going on? What's up with this? Is there something I don't know about, you know? Like, what's up with this search warrant, you know? And then it all played into I had pieced it together while I was on the phone with him, you know, it was the truck and everything. And I was like, so check it out. This is what's going on. So this is what they're saying about him. And he's just like, what? And I'm like, yeah. And he was like, well, you know what? Do you remember him telling us about the house that had weird cages in it over in the Brooklyn area? And I said, no. Jeremy, he never discussed anything like that with me, because that would be something that would have, And so, of course, I called the detective right away when I got off the phone, and I let him know this information. Like, you need to go back to then in the area of where and check that out. So I'm hoping they're going to follow up with that. I know they're super busy today. But I just, so apparently there was a conversation, and he made comments about knowing of a house with cages. What's that? I don't. You think you know somebody and you don't. And you want to think of everybody one way, and you just can't. It's not reality.
Sorry, I had my thing on mute. I was looking up sex trafficking stuff by state. Iowa's had 98 cases this year.
Oh my God.
Yeah. How many of those just on I-80?
It doesn't say.
That's
it says 3 kids out of every 100,000. But you want to hear something crazier? Is that in this in the world, word from the United States, United Kingdom, and Uruguay is that they had the highest reported numbers of women sleeping with their landlords because they couldn't pay rent. Those are the reports that came in from the Secretary of State of the highest sex trafficking were women sleeping with their landlord, or landlords forcing these women to sleep with them in order to pay rent.
My hometown's real bad at that. Real bad at that.
Texas had 1,080 cases of sex trafficking and sexual exploitation. It's not sex trafficking, it's human trafficking.
Right.
I always say sex trafficking, but it's not.
I do too. I mean,
yeah, seriously, Lippy, that was the report I just found. Hold on, let me go back to it. That's crazy.
How many in Poweshiek County, Iowa? Somebody told me they looked it up. There's 11 missing kids in our county alone right now. I haven't been able to check up on that.
That's crazy.
How's your son doing, Samantha?
What was that?
How's your son doing?
He's doing really good. He is absolutely 100% completely flipped around on schedule. And so I work third shift. So I'm up all night. I sleep in my mornings normally, but he has gotten in the habit over the last, few weeks that he's not going to bed till mom goes to bed at 6, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, that's so sad.
But it's sad, but it's sweet, because he snuggles up with me every morning when I get home from work, and we go to sleep, and then we get up, and I mean, it's like we have our same day. It's just our hours are different. And so yesterday, he had summer school and a play date with his best friend. And so he was up all day. He wasn't able to nap and sleep like he has been able to. So, man, he hit that couch last night, and he was out. He's been sleeping all night, so I'm going to let him get some good sleep and then get him up here when I'm done with y'all and try to get him back on schedule. My daughter's at camp. The tornadoes, we got weather really, really bad yesterday.
Really?
I get a phone call from my daughter's classmate's mom. She's hysterical. She's like, Sam, how do you get a hold of Tegan? How do you get a hold of Tegan? I'm like, what? She's like, Sam, there's a tornado and they're at camp. It's right there. And I'm like, what? And it took us probably a good half hour, 45 minutes to get a hold of anybody up there. But I'm like, oh, man, that's just, I didn't even want to let her go, honestly. Yeah. Like, it's been, even my 18-year-old son, I'm like, no, I don't know. I'm not okay with it. It's not okay. Like, I'm terrified. You're just going to have to get over it that mom's being, on you like this. Like, it's, I just want to know where you are at all times. Like, And I know it's hard. You know, I juggle 4 kids. If it wasn't for my brother, I don't know what I'd do. You know, and it's hard to keep, you know, track of them. We have a whiteboard system.
Yeah.
To where, you know, I'm not home, or if I'm sleeping or something, they write their name, what time they left, and where they're going. And then that way, when I get up or if I get home, then I know where they're at. If I need to find them, you know, and they're pretty good at it. They're pretty good at it. So, but it's just, I mean, when I moved to this town, it was great. It was beautiful. It was wonderful. It was happy. It was cheerful. And, you know, my kids have done absolutely nothing but flourish here. Nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, academically, in their, you know, social lives, everything. They sports, and it's not like that anymore. It's horrible. You know, you don't hear the kids playing when you drive down the street anymore, and nobody's out walking. You know, this town is usually in. You know, parents, I get it, and trust me, but like that's that home feeling. You know what I mean? And everybody deserves to be happy. Everybody deserves to be loved. Everybody deserves to live life, you know?
Yeah.
And this has hit in a lot of different aspects of my life here. I mean, I can't say I've questioned my religion, but I've been raising some questions the last, you know, few weeks. I went to my pastor, you know, and I still haven't figured it out. You know, if I figure it out, I'll let you know. But I don't understand. I know there's a lesson. I know there's a meaning, but what is it? Like, this is a sweet little innocent boy. Like, why does he have to be the signal? You know, like, I don't know. Kyle keeps me on the straight line with that when he says prayers. So, but he's hanging in there. Xavier's got another little friend over in the trailer court. The one that he rides bikes with. He's struggling with everything. I seen him. I ran into him at the gas station the other day and gave him a big hug, and he kind of broke down on my shoulder a little bit. And he misses his friend, and got a little three-year-old girl over there in the trailer court. Kyle's little play date last night. And she just says, he was so funny. We would ride our bikes. He was so fast. And just the way she was talking to him, I was trying to record it just because hearing that little girl's voice talk about the joy that I've been trying to explain of Xavier was just, man, it was so heartwarming. I mean, that comfort feeling just came over you. And, you know, I was just smiling ear to ear, like, you're right. You are so right. That was Xavier. He's always smiling. It doesn't matter. He's always smiling. And that's a crazy thing, man. And coming from a very, very rough childhood myself,
yeah,
you know, I still put a smile on my face every day, and it takes a lot. And that little boy, he did it with ease. That smile was his gift to the world. And I want to see it again. I want to see it again. I want to see it soon. A lot of us do. A lot of people.
I'm so happy for you, everything that you've accomplished out there. Everyone that's been willing to help in that community and beyond. I've been following it every day. I see all the flyers. I mean, they're everywhere. They're in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Believe it or not, we have him, and we have flyers up in, I believe now officially is every single state in the United States. But we have not quite got him up in every county in Iowa, which is what we have started concentrating on now. If you go to, I believe it's hashtag Finding Xavior, the Finding Xavior group. And they can, if you hit us up with your addresses, we can send you flyers if you're willing to put them up.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, I believe, or no, next Thursday, we're having, what did they call it? the Xavior Warriors gathering, something like that. We're just going to get together and we mail out 25 flyers in an envelope and get them sent out to people that have requested them, or to certain companies, trucking companies, you know, homeless shelters, anywhere that we. What was that?
I can do it in Hershey and Harrisburg. Yeah,
Yeah,
we've got a lot of farms and stuff around here, and I'm in Pennsylvania. I wanted to. What was I going to ask you? Yeah, I'm definitely interested in that. I mean, there was a period where me and Laura were gonna like actually come there, and I was gonna crawl.
I wish you would.
I know. I was gonna crawl. I was like, Laura,
hey, look, you gotta come. We ain't gotta go nowhere. I just got it put together.
Don't dare me, because I will get on a plane and go.
Hey, have you ever been to Iowa?
No.
Oh, girl, you missing out.
Laura loves it, though. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, me and Laura were talking about going. I was like, Laura, I'm going to crawl under that trailer, and I'm going to make sure that they looked. And I'm thinking about, I'm like, if they couldn't find them, what the hell am I going to do?
Right. You know, and the areas that they searched the other day, Foxwoods to be exact.
Right.
That was an area that was brought up from day one.
Mm-hmm.
And then over to the Fun Valley area. But then, have you guys seen the post? Hold on a second. The sirens are going off. They'll be off in just a second.
What's the sirens for?
It's 9:00 on Thursday morning. It's our test.
Oh.
But the sirens here in Montezuma go off every single time the fire department and the ambulance get sent out. So every time the ambulance, they get paged out, the sirens go off. So yeah, some days are worse than others, you know, but it's a good system.
Don't dare me, Samantha, because if that's an invite for me to come out there, I will come. And the people that will come.
I'll have to show you Iowa nice.
I want to go there and be a part of something that's going to bring attention to this missing boy, and I want to be able to walk out of there with some sort of story, whether it be inspirational or some sort of findings, or I really hope that they find him alive. I'm praying, and you want to know something? I'm really hopeful for it. I really am.
Yeah.
I'm very positive. And I'll tell you one thing. I caught myself one time earlier. You were saying that it bothers you when they talk about him in past tense. I caught myself and said, no. I don't know if anybody remembers, but I said, no,
Me too. Me too. I caught myself like, wait a minute. No, I did not. Is not the word I meant. Like, you know, it's, you know, but
I feel so bad because I'm like, no. Is. Because I said he was an 11-year-old. No, he is. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I understand how you feel about that.
Have you? Yeah, it's, you know, and when it comes to like inspirational things, I don't quite know what the next steps are. I know that the ladies, Joy and Tina over there at Molly's Movement and all that, I mean, they are amazing. You know, they slapped together that benefit concert that was great. I mean,
you can't have turnout, yeah.
And exactly, you know, I was, and same with the vigil. Believe it or not, I was really, really shocked at the turnout. I was a little, I'm not gonna lie, community in Montezuma, you can hate me if you want, but I was a little disappointed with the turnout at the vigil because, listen, I don't care who you are. Every city, every little town, you've got your levels. You got your high class, your middle class, your low class. Well, I'm doing this news interview about 15 minutes before this vigil is supposed to start. So I do this interview, and there's probably maybe 20 people up there. So I'm like, oh man, did I not get the information out in time? You know, what's up? And then all of a sudden I turn around and like, I step back a little bit. I mean, because there was just this whole line of people. And I was just like, yes. But then, like, as I'm talking and I'm up there, you know, and I'm looking at all these people, I'm like, it's all the low class, the Xavier level. Like, not trying to, title anybody or anything like that, but, so I'm kind of like, and so that's when I was kind of like, I really got to start reaching out here.
Yeah.
Because I've got to start making people understand and see this child and not his home life. You know what I mean? Not his mom and their past or
it's not his fault. It's not his fault.
Right. And he's a missing child. Like this.
Yeah. No matter what,
all of this other nonsense, yes, history, will show you whatever. But, some of the things that are being brought up are just ridiculous.
Can I ask you a question?
I mean, we all have rights. We all have histories. Yes, ma'am.
My question really that I've been dying to ask you is how far away is Montezuma from where Molly Tibbetts was found?
Less than 10 miles.
Shut the fuck up! No.
Yeah. Yep. I had just moved here when she went missing. I wasn't here very long. And I was able to watch the community come together for her. And it was insane. It was absolutely insane around here for her.
Okay.
And that's the other thing that's been kind of frustrating is because I seen that and then I'm watching this.
But so this whole time this whole time that you guys have been searching for Xavier, did anybody think to put the two together or no?
So I can't say I don't think so. Just because simply hers was they thought it was like not like a stalking thing, but she was following him on the jog, he followed her on the jog and all that. And then Xavier just poof vanished,
Yeah, but
like
there was a
going back to the camera footage.
People did think there was a connection because
it was
found it odd that he
I found it odd that he was
convicted.
Yes. Yep. That was extremely odd. So I want to bring up real quick. I don't know. Let's see if I can do this on my phone without.
Okay, Samantha, what did you find?
Laura, did you get it? I sent it to you.
Laura's on mute. Mute, Laura.
I did. That can't be total bullshit. I don't believe that person at all.
Right. But did you see what that's it? It's crazy. I get stuff like that all the time.
Oh yeah, I don't believe any of that. That's fucking trolls to me. Because you always know the trolls when they say, "Oh, I can't report this," or what is?
Well, that what day of the week was June 2nd? I don't have a calendar out here. Because Xavier went missing on the 27th. We had his vigil on the following Monday. And James Lowe was arrested right about an hour before his vigil. And so that story is claiming to be on June 2nd. And everybody keeps talking about a timeline.
June 2nd is... June 2nd was on a Wednesday.
So yeah, he would have been in jail.
On the 27th was a Thursday. May 22nd was a Thursday. June 2nd was the following Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah.
And James Lowe is still in jail.
What was that?
James Lowe is still in jail?
I believe he is. I don't see how he's not. I mean, I heard drug charges, gun charges, and what is it, burglary or theft or something like that. I've seen so many reports. I've had so many of them sent to me, and they're from the last 5 years that I don't know which ones are, I guess, are his most current ones, because I know he's been on the run for a while. And so, yeah, who knows with him? Scouting out farmhouses was his thing, I guess.
But we knew he wasn't arrested on the 27th.
Right. And see, and I never heard that he specifically was at the trailer that night. I know that his girlfriend, Stephanie, was there. And I've heard that a gentleman, Donnie Baker, was there that night. And I think that's it. That's all that I've heard that was there physically. I don't know what time Donnie was there. Stephanie said she was there. It was between 8 and 9 o'clock. And that's, yeah, who knows?
Okay, so watch on Crime Channel. Okay, here we go. You want to see it? All right, we got there. We're gonna do it live.
Don't stream it from Lauren Network. They'll strike you.
From Law and Crime Network?
Yeah, they might strike you.
Yeah?
They might. I don't know for sure.
It started 4 minutes ago. Okay. I won't show anything yet.
Here. If y'all don't mind.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take you for a little walk.
Sure. Are you gonna take us to the cornfield?
No. It is so wet and muddy right now. You don't want to go to the cornfield. I live a block away from the courthouse.
No.
So yeah.
Is there anybody over there?
It's the whole block has been it's been full of cars since 7 o'clock this morning.
Is there press there?
That's what
Yeah, that's why you're going over there. Good.
Yeah, we're going.
Yeah. There we go, baby. Roll up on them. Roll up.
So, yeah. First minute.
Everyone thinks you're awesome for taking us to the courthouse.
I can't take you in. They won't let nobody in.
Not even you?
No.
They're like, come on, I'm Samantha Rich,
Hey,
yo.
listen, I happened to have court. I believe it was the same day that he was being charged.
Really?
Like, at the beginning of this, yeah, I had court, and I got to the top of the stairs, and they had U.S. Marshals all suited up and everything. It was intimidating. All right. So listen, I'm going to turn around here, and you're going to see. Hold on. Can you see me?
Yeah.
Okay, so the courthouse is behind me.
Yeah.
There's law enforcement. About every other car parked up here is probably law enforcement.
Do you have a good rapport with the law enforcement?
Yes, I've been talking with both DCI and FBI from the beginning. I've got two gentlemen that have they've been tremendous. They've been very comforting and respectful, to emotions and feelings. So yeah. Oh yeah, they've got They're everywhere. But I do not see any news though. I have not seen one news car. They might be parked on the other side though.
Yeah.
So we can go check though. I'm not doing anything.
No, you're not.
No.
You can do
Just
whatever
so-
you want. Yeah.
Well, just so everybody knows, Channel 13 is here.
Okay.
Just seeing them. Or I see their vehicle anyway.
Won't they recognize you?
We've got Channel 8. Honestly, they will probably get a hold of me afterwards if I haven't already gotten messages. So. Okay. Okay. Are you guys ready for this?
Yeah.
I think we got some news coverage. Can you see them? We're going to get a little closer. You guys want to be on the news with me?
Yeah.
Man, this is great. This is great.
Hang on, I'll be right back.
Somebody take a screenshot.
Okay. So we've got Channel 13. We've got Channel 8. We have, that's KCCI. I can't see the other ones around here. Hey, real quick, am I allowed to like take a shot of these guys without permission and I won't get in trouble? Like,
of course you can. No, yeah, you're in public.
So
yeah,
I don't know.
Be all over the place.
Understand how big this is.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying yesterday.
Yeah.
There better be news coverage. This is huge.
Go hard. You like this case. It's because
Channel
of you.
2, Fox 28 is here. That is amazing.
This is huge news.
Thank you.
Channel 9.
Thank you.
Channel 13's over here. What else we got? Okay, we have been around the entire courthouse and they're setting up shop. I bet second floor of the courthouse is just packed.
I want to be there right now. I don't know what I would do. I'd probably just sit there like this.
All right, well, ladies, listen to me.
Got it.
I'm headed back home. I didn't realize my phone was so low. But don't worry, I have a battery pack. I got enough to get me home.
Okay.
So, but I'm going to go home and grab my battery pack and a jacket. It's a little cooler out today than I thought it was. WKAD News 8 ABC.
Show it.
No, this is huge. I said it yesterday.
Sitting right next to law enforcement.
Yes, yes, yes.
This is landmark. Like this.
High heels on ground, baby. High heels on ground.
No, sweetheart, I wear boots.
No. Wait, this is Molly Golightly. High heels on ground, bitch. No boots on ground. Those are the guys.
It's time to get boots dirty. So, it's, man, this is good. This is good.
Here you go. Listen.
And the interpreter
Judge speaking
has been sworn in by the court with the record to reflect as follows. And Mr. Bahena is then also joined by his attorney of records, Jennifer Fries and Chad Fries. File reflects that originally today was the date and time set for sentencing. The defense has since filed a motion for new trial. After consulting with the attorneys, the court entered an order yesterday continuing both the sentencing and the hearing on motion for new trial. And by agreement, we are here today on the limited issue of the defense's motion to compel. The file should reflect that the defendant's motion for new trial was filed July 8th of 2021. From the state standpoint, is that an accurate representation of what brings us here today?
I would agree, Judge. We would like to be heard on the scope of this hearing. I think there's a difference of opinion as to what we're going to be discussing today and what evidence is going to be offered. So I'd like to be heard on that at some point.
From the defense's standpoint, do you agree with my recitation?
Oh, there he is.
Yes.
Well, I guess let me, not to cut you off, Mr. Brown, and depending on where we go here, I may give you some latitude to make your argument, but I'll start with Ms. Freeze. Again, we're here on your motion to compel.
Molly, where are you watching it?
Made in what I expect.
Law and crime.
Is a professional statement as to what you are wanting.
They just show. They're just in a courtroom.
An opportunity to respond.
We can hear it.
We'll proceed that way.
Judge is talking.
Since you're up, what would you?
Rivera's sitting in a corner.
From the state at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor. On July 13th, 2021, we filed a motion to continue hearing on post-trial motions in sentencing and a motion to compel Brady evidence. Essentially, what we are asking for, and I will tell you, we have witnesses and we are ready to proceed with evidence. That being said, I do agree with Mr. Brown that a professional statement of the evidence that we've gathered and what we want may be appropriate. Essentially, this is where we're at right now. After Christian Bahena testified, two people came forward. One person's name was Arnie Mackey. That man is in a conference room adjacent to this courtroom. Arnie Mackey, after listening to Christian Bahena Rivera testify at trial, realized that Mr. Bahena Rivera's statement corroborated a statement by another inmate that he resided with at the Keokuk County Jail. That inmate's name is Gavin Jones. Gavin Jones admitted to Arnie Mackey that he and another gentleman were the killers of Molly Tibbetts. He also admitted to Mackey that there was a trap house that was involved and that Molly Tibbetts was abducted for the purposes of sex trafficking. This man admitted that the story involving Ms. Tibbetts became too big, too fast. As the court is well aware and as the evidence was produced at trial, this case had national attention very quickly. Presumably was out for a jog and was just snatched out of thin air. So Mr. McKee comes forward. The information, and this was passed on to the state, but the information that was presented at the trial and that was conveyed to the defense was essentially that some inmate was running his mouth, that another inmate had said something. What we found out after trial is that this inmate identified this Gavin Jones. It has since been linked that they both were in the same jail at the same time. Further, there's evidence corroborating this inmate made statements that he and Gavin Jones were close, and that one of them put money on the other person's books. I believe Mr. McKee put money on Mr. Jones's books.
Wow.
And that has also been corroborated with jail records. So we have a reason to believe that Mr. Mackey, the information that he is giving is true.
Oh my God.
Even more concerning is that at the same time Mr. Bahena Rivera is testifying, later on that afternoon, Mr. Mackey comes forward. And within hours, another witness, that witness's name is Lindsay Voss. Lindsay Voss also indicates that the same man, Gavin Jones, that she was his girlfriend, and that Gavin Jones admitted to killing Molly Tibbetts. It further was corroborated with Lindsay Voss, that she was in a volatile relationship with Mr. Jones, that she sought and received a 236 protective order based on domestic violence from Mr. Jones, that he held a gun to her head on an occasion, and further, there is evidence through a deputy that Gavin Jones was arrested and in the same car with Ms. Voss. So we've got two separate people.
Oh my God.
Since this information has come together, we have continued to investigate. And through our investigation, through no evidence that's been provided by the state, through our independent investigation, we received a search warrant that was authored in 2019 involving James Lowe. James Lowe is alleged to be a sex trafficker that is in was it sex trafficking women out of a home in Mahaska County. Lowe, even more concerning, a separate woman came forward in 2019 and said that she was introduced to James Lowe at a Casey's in Brooklyn, Iowa. So the same town that Molly Tibbetts was abducted from. This woman says that she was given gas money and word to James Lowe's residence that another male and Adam Moshman owns, and that she was put in a room, drugged, and prostituted herself on a nightly basis. So essentially she was drugged to a point that she was not able to consent or not, and it just went over and over and over again. This woman indicated that she was in a room by herself, but that she could hear voices of other women, and she could also hear voices of men and Mr. Lowe talking in the morning saying, "Did you have a good time? Was it worth it?" This woman was deemed credible as law enforcement requested from a magistrate a search warrant, and they were granted a search warrant for James Lowe's residence. There also was information in the search warrant that there was another woman that was attempted to be abducted by James Lowe, and she identified him as 90 to 100% the person that attempted to abduct her. James Lowe is currently in custody. He is currently in custody on federal firearms charges. He was arrested just 2 days after Xavior Harrelson was missing. So the information we have is we have these two people coming forward identifying Gavin Jones. Gavin Jones indicating that he was a sex trafficker for a 50-year-old man, that he was at a trap house of a 50-year-old man. This woman that alleged to have been in this trap house, also involving a 50-year-old man, James Lowe, she was abducted in May of 2018. So just 2 months prior to the Molly Tibbetts investigation. The Iowa DCI did the interview. We have not received it. It's exculpatory. And we have not received any of the information involving the investigation into James Lowe. There were devices, computers, thumb drives that were seized and that were presumably sent to be looked at for a sex trafficking investigation. That evidence is exculpatory and it has not been produced. Your Honor, I'd ask you to consider this case and consider that we are not in a metropolitan area. Poweshiek County has 18,000 people. Brooklyn, Iowa has 1,700 people. Montezuma has 1,300 people. What information do we have? We have information that 3 people have vanished out of thin air in this small rural county. Molly Tibbetts, Xavior Harrelson, and the woman that reported being abducted in May of 2018 and sex trafficked.
Oh my gosh.
We are willing to consent to any sort of a protective order. We recognize that this boy, Xavier Harrelson, is missing and that there is an ongoing investigation as to who his killer is and what happened to this little boy. We would be willing to consent to any sort of a protective order that the court issues to not disclose any information contained. However, I think that it would be preposterous to believe that the Christian Bahena and the Molly Tibbetts names did not come up in the Xavier Harrelson investigation. We have 2 people that went missing in incredibly small towns. And all we are asking is that Mr. Bahena be given a fair shot, that through his attorneys, we be allowed to look at this information. We are asking that any sex trafficking investigation involving James Lowe or residents of Poweshiek County or adjoining counties be produced. We are also asking for any pending investigations of James Lowe during the period that Molly Tibbetts went missing and present. And I note James Lowe is clearly linked to the Xavier Harrelson disappearance. I strongly suspect that he is a suspect and that he is believed to have been involved. But at the very least, he is a witness. James Lowe was on the lam. He was warrant out for approximately a year, approaching May 27th, 2021, when Xavier Harrelson was last reported seen. On May 29th, he is located in Iowa County, and the reason that he's located is that not a traffic stop, not a traffic violation, it is because he is being looked for. And an agent from the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation, I would assume an agent that is actively working on the Xavier Harrelson disappearance, pulls over a car that has a sawed-off shotgun and James Lowe runs from that car and runs from law enforcement. He is currently being held on firearm charges in the Lynn County Jail for federal charges. The last thing that we are requesting is any investigations involving inmate 2, who I've now identified as Gavin Jones. We have 2 separate people indicating that he has made an admission to killing Molly Tibbetts. And I note that Brady dealt with that exact issue. Brady is the case that every defense attorney cites regarding exculpatory information. The facts of Brady involved a person that made inculpatory statements about a killing, and that is exactly what we have here. I agree with Mr. Brown, and we have people that are available to testify, but I think that the professional statement stands, and that's all. Thank you.
And Ms. Freeze, I think we're on track here with everything, but just to summarize, you stand by paragraph 15, and that's the extent of what you're asking for at this point in time.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Ms. Freeze. Mr. Brown, do you have paragraph 15 in front of you?
Yes.
So, you've heard what the defense is requesting. It's the 3 things set forth. I guess I'd like to know the state's position regarding those 3 requests.
We resist providing anything that they're asking for. There is no discovery post-trial. They want to go and knock themselves out trying to find out all of this confusing information that's just been presented to the court. Go right ahead and do it.
Motherfucker!
There's nothing in the rules, nothing in the case law that compels the state to chase its tail because they're asking us to do it. There's nothing, they want it. That's about it. That's all they're saying. There's no rule, there's no case or anything.
This is why I wasn't allowed in the courtroom.
To do this. This is newly discovered evidence. This is a motion for a new trial. All right? If they want to try to find newly discovered evidence, they can go and try to find newly discovered evidence. We are under no obligation to go find newly discovered evidence because they want us to go looking for it.
What you have right now is enough.
By rule, the discovery are pre-trial, right? And we've complied with those. If there was exculpatory information, even if we learned it, post
this motherfucker
to the defense, we understand what our obligations are.
What a dick! What a dick!
With regard to this. We are under no obligation to search for it. This request, Your Honor, is
no obligation.
I mean, it's going to require us to go talk to who knows how many law enforcement.
Then do it! So do it! Do it!
And there is no law, no rule that requires us.
It's our justice system. That's the prosecution.
Laid out that somehow connect James Lowe or Gavin Jones.
Burden of proof. Well,
our entire system, when it comes to looking for these missing babies, to prosecuting their offender.
The defendant's statement that he gave at trial. The only thing that matches is that Molly Tibbetts was involved and that at least 2 other guys with ski masks and sweaters and dark pants were the ones that showed up, abducted, and killed her. That's it. There's nothing else about a trap house, Molly's body being wrapped in plastic, being stashed at a secondary location, that she was tied or bound. There's no physical evidence that was found that connects any of that. All of that's laid out in our resistance. And there's the only thing that's even remotely consistent is that there was a unknown sex trafficker, according to Gavin Jones, or a guy that he was stealing cars for, and that he happens to be 50 years old. Nothing else.
This dude's married.
Zero, no evidence, nothing that's there. If they want to go,
some woman's married to him.
They can I suppose, ask the court for subpoenas if that's what they want. We've indicated that in our.
I hope he doesn't have children. I hope he doesn't have children.
Nothing that is in the law that would require us to do what they're requesting in paragraph 15. Nothing that I can find, and there's no authorization
Horrible.
for that. So if they want to go look for it, you've given them time to search for whatever evidence they want to search for. They can do that. They've got time to do it. We don't even have a hearing set for these two motions that relate to new trial that are filed. So we would resist that request. One other thing I want to clear up that Ms. Freese was the nature of the information that we brought to them relating to Arnie Mackey. We told them as soon as I got it. I mean, it was within hours of talking to him. We took to them much more detail than she's informing the court. I think what she said was that we said that an inmate ran his mouth and said something about, it was a vague statement that she was claiming.
He wants revenge, not
we
justice.
Provided them enough detail that they knew, because Mr. Freese told me in front of witnesses that what we were telling them was inconsistent with what his client testified to. We told them about the secondary location that she had been tied up, that another person that was involved. Mr. Freese told me in front of witnesses that it was completely inconsistent with what his client testified to. And that's why we proceeded. They've got buyer's remorse when it comes to this information. We offered to stop the trial, to go to you and ask to stop the trial, to pursue the information that Mr. Mackey was providing to us. They declined. I left it 100% up to them to do that we would stop the trial and go deploy agents to Mount Pleasant, the correctional facility, which would have necessarily meant following up with any other information, including what Lindsay Voss would have brought to us. So that was their choice, not ours. They were provided enough detail that they knew that the statement was inconsistent. And you know what? I agree with what Mr. Freese said back on May 26th. It is inconsistent with what the defendant said. This motion that relates to this other discovery and going on this fishing expedition on behalf of the defense is not authorized by the rules. It is not authorized by the law, and it should be denied in its entirety.
So just put him in jail, even if he's innocent.
Summarize the state's position then.
America, honey.
Set forth by the defendant in paragraph 15. The state resists all three, and the state will not in any way, shape, or form voluntarily.
No, that is correct.
All right. Ms. Freese, I'll give you a brief opportunity to respond. Just what I would like you to, at least for my benefit, focus in on is the point raised by Mr. Brown that we're obviously post-trial and the discovery rules apply to pre-trial.
I'll respond, Your Honor.
Go ahead, Mr. Freese.
I understand the discovery rules apply pre-trial, don't apply post-trial. The Constitution applies all the time, okay? And here's the problem with what Mr. Brown says, is that they had a report in April of 2019, okay? And I want to make this crystal clear. In March of 2019, this young woman's walking along Highway 92. She's picked up by a state trooper, an Iowa state trooper, who then she relays this horrific story of sex trafficking in this, it's a trap house, a brothel, drug house in New Sharon. This trooper relays the information to the agent in charge of the DCI of that area of the state, okay? Adam DeCamp, okay? So he is the agent in charge of that area of the state. He interviews her, and she relays all this information to him, including that she was lured and trafficked from Brooklyn, Iowa, 2 months prior to Molly Tibbetts being abducted. Relevant time frame, relevant location, relevant disappearance for a while. She was there not just 1 or 2 nights, she was there for months, Your Honor. So in March and April of 2019, they act upon that information and get a search warrant. They do not disclose that to us. They had that information for 2 years prior to trial. They sat on information, and you cannot get me to believe that the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation, the prosecution's own agents, did at some point talk about the fact that that's odd. We had one abduction in May of 2018, and then Molly Tibbetts goes missing in July 2018. And didn't think that maybe those two have some connection, or at least that's something we should disclose to the defense, because that could be, it is, no doubt is, exculpatory. So, we're going down the same road here. We can't control when exculpatory evidence comes up. Now, Mr. Brown says, he said to me in front of witnesses, and I said what I said to witnesses. No issue with what he said and what I said. There was no record made on that. He did say, it was Mount Pleasant, they were talking about this and that with the possible trap house and an abduction. That's fine. That's fine. At that point in time, that's all we knew. Mr. Brown kept saying, but I want to see the report first. I want to see the report first. And this was after our case had rested. And that's all we knew at that point. Didn't give us any names. Didn't give us any more details than that. And hearing somebody from prison come forward watching TV saying, oh yeah, I did that. That, unfortunately, isn't that uncommon. After the trial was done, the evening after the verdict at 8:00 p.m., we get an email, and for the first time, we are told in a report that not only did this inmate, Mr. Mackey, say this, but he gives names, he gives details, he gives locations, and most importantly, we see for the first time and hear for the first time about Lindsay Voss, who gave the same, or identified the same person on the same day, within a couple hours of Arnie Mackey. That was never disclosed, and we know that was never disclosed because she wasn't even talking to the police until 5:30 p.m. On the 26th. Lindsay Voss's name never crossed anyone's lips, crossed any phone lines, or was sent over the internet until the evening following the verdict. Now, we had Lindsay Voss's statement in conjunction with Arnie Mackey's, and they would have come to us and said, we have two people pointing at the same guy. You bet your pants we would have said, stop, wheels. We need to, you run this down. Now they don't want to run it down. After offering it earlier, now they don't have to, they don't want to. The evidence here that 10 kids in this area have gone missing. We've provided that. There's
what the fuck
in this area. And they don't want to help us provide us any information. This is a small area. 10 kids are missing. That's not coincidental. And we think it's exculpatory.
Yeah.
Due process is the 14th Amendment, and that never goes away. Thank you.
Boom.
Mr. Freeze, thank you. Mr. Brown, I'll briefly give you the last word on this before I tell you how we're going to proceed.
Yeah. This whole issue that they raised with Xavior Harrelson, that is a pending investigation. The fact that they would put this information in a public document, which we did try to get ahead of, is unconscionable in my mind.
Oh, really?
And now they want access to that?
Yeah.
It's a pending investigation. That cannot happen in this case. There is no connection between anything with Xavier Harrelson and Molly Tibbetts' disappearance.
Oh, no contraire.
Wow, is all I have to say.
No, fuck you, dude. Fuck you.
Request to go down that road. So I'd stand on our written response to this request, as well as our previous comments. And that's all. Thank you.
Wow.
Is that I understand the request.
Lazy motherfucker.
3 requests by the.
You don't want to do the work.
Paragraph 15 and talked about today. I understand the state's resistance to it. I'll take the matter under advisement and get you a written ruling. I do anticipate that by week's end, I will have a ruling one way or the other telling you what we are going to do regarding the request for motion to compel. So With that said, while we've got everyone here today, we need to talk, I want to talk the logistics of the next thing that needs to happen is we need to get the motion for new trial and motion for acquittal, motion for arrest of judgment set for hearing. I want to hear from each side. I basically have a date in mind. What's the defense thinking?
Thinking about
when we would set this for hearing.
we're going to need 6 weeks.
Okay. Defense. I'm sorry, state.
I don't know why they would need that long, Judge. We're available, I would say, week of the 26th, one of those in 2 weeks. I've got some conflicts between the 29th and the end of the week, but I have another trial that's coming up on August the 10th. But in any event, I would ask that
He's inconvenienced.
time in 6 weeks.
Okay.
Oh, look at him! Look at him! Evil!
Not only set,
Evil.
heard and decided within 30 days of your motion.
They want to put out them dates. If this is related, how long does he have?
I understand what Mr. Brown
Come on.
I'll tell you where I'm at, and I want to get then feedback from both of you. Again, understanding what I just said in terms of the time guidelines we're under. I think we need to set this for next Thursday, July 22nd.
I'm in a jury case in Waukon, Iowa that has to go on July 22nd under the sexually violent predator guidelines. Cannot be continued.
Mr. Brown?
I'm available the 22nd, the 23rd. I have a case that Mr.
You guys ain't sleeping.
With our office, that's an SVP case.
I haven't been.
And that's why it's got to go now. But
He's a real dick.
continued multiple times before, or I couldn't be continued again. But the 29th and 30th, I'm out. If you're thinking of the following week, we're available the 22nd.
Oh,
23rd,
this
26th,
guy.
27th, 28th. I can do it any one of those days.
Motion hearing. I bring it.
Okay. So what do you think, Samantha? You both-
You know, he started talking about them dates, and
yeah,
I think the only thing I heard was he said something about like August 20 something.
Yeah.
You know,
he's inconvenienced.
He's been gone for how long?
He doesn't care about Xavier. He thinks that Xavier, he does not care about this baby. He made it very evident. He made it sound like it was fucking ridiculous.
He's gonna care. He's gonna care.
And the defense team said, no, sweetie, it's not a coincidence that in these towns there's only 1,700 people, and now we got 10 people missing that vanished from thin air. Oh, no. And the thing is, and I understand why you're upset. I'm shocked. This guy is a total dick. He's inconvenient. He doesn't want to do the work.
You have no idea how many times I have been alone with that man. How many times he's been around my kids. You have no idea. Like,
you talk about James Lowe.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then to hear these accusations against him, like, if this is all true, that could have been me. That could have been one of my kids.
Yeah. I know. And he wouldn't give a fuck. This state, he wouldn't give a look at him. He sat there and he was like, you're not gonna inconvenience with it. No, I'm busy. I have things to do. This is ludicrous. This
You are an attorney in Powesheik County. There can't be that many different court cases. I'm sorry. We are small towns. There ain't nothing. Come on. That. Oh. You have an anger problem, right?
You think I have an anger problem?
No, I have an anger problem. I'm saying you don't have an anger problem, right?
Oh, do I know you have an anger problem? I think that you've been, honestly, Samantha, I think that you're really stressed out beyond. I think you're beyond tired. I think that you're continuously disappointed, and this is shocking news.
I am hurt. Like,
you have a personal connection with. You knew James Lowe. He got this close to your kids. He touched you. This disgusting man. I get it. And you've been utilizing your time and your heart and your passion to find this baby that everybody fell in love with, including yourself. You have every right to fucking cry, and you have every right to be fucking angry at the system, at the law, at the police. And you want to know something? You are not alone. Many of us are angry. And you want to know something? I admire your passion, because you want to know something? I break down like that too. And I'm not embarrassed to cry, because it fucking hurts. Because no one's sticking up for that baby but you. You're the hero here. No matter how this ends up, you were his champion.
I just want that baby. I want to see that smile so bad.
You are his champion, and you are the one who cares about him most. And now, because of this, 600 plus people got to watch in real fucking time. This court, the state, that county spit on Xavior Harrelson. He spit on him like he was nothing. And you just said it a half an hour ago about the classes. And you knew it was going to fucking happen. He's still a baby.
I know. And it's like, you know, you hear these reward funds get put in place, you know, and then all of a sudden you hear of, hey, this company reached out and they're donating this much, and this family is going to put in this much. You don't hear that with him. I mean, we've been at it for weeks, and I mean, yeah, I'm sorry, but $30,000, that is a lot of money to somebody like me. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of money. That's $1 million to me compared to what $30,000 is to other people. Like, it shouldn't have to be like this. But if it's money, then so be it. But how do we get him up to where all these other successful cases have been? Because mom's not high up in society. She doesn't have, you know, diamond earrings in her ears and riding around in a nice car. Like, stop making this child suffer for things that have not been his fault. He can't control his life. He can't control what he was brought into. He can only control who he becomes. And that little boy is destined to greatness. It's moments like these that, you know, Xavier's strength is what strengthens me. It's for him to be able to be happy every day and smile every day, no matter what. Like, I have to do that. I have to do that for him. I have to do that for Kyle. I have to do that for myself. You know, I can't tell you how much it hurts. And I mean, I haven't known this kid his whole life. I've only known him, you know, once or twice a month for the last, you know, couple of years. Just here and there, you know. See him walking out of school anyways, you know. And it hurts. Like, my heart hurts for him. I couldn't imagine. I mean, I love all children. All children are amazing. And so I don't know what else to do. With all this new information, you know, they're starting to search. They're looking in the areas that I've felt that they, need to look. And I hope and pray and I have faith that they'll continue. And the only thing that I can do is to keep people thinking about him and to keep people, talking about him and just keep his face out there. And it gets frustrating because it gets to a point where it's like, well, how many more flyers can I put out? How many more flyers can I send out? How many more shares can I do? But you can't stop. I can't stop. I can't give up. I can't stop for him. Like I know everybody needs this to just be over. We can't just make it go away. But Xavier needs to come home. We need to bring him home. And I just hope that we can just stay together and stay strong and work together and get it done. It's just so frustrating with the not knowing or knowing 10 different possibilities and not which way do I go? Like it. I there's no words. I don't know how to. I mean, I chase 4 kids around, 2 dogs, and my little big brother. My head spins around all day long on a normal basis. So it has just been beyond insane. Like I try not to even go out, like if I don't have to as much, just because I hate having to talk about it all the time. And I hate having to say I don't know. Tired of saying I don't know. Somebody knows something. I just hope that they find it in their hearts to just come out and whatever, At the end of the day, only God can judge you, man. But that baby deserves to be home. He's got friends. He's got family. He's got a community. He's got the world on his side. Like, I just hope that wherever he is, that he gets to see these. That he gets to see people like you guys out there talking about him. And I hope he knows. I hope he knows that he is loved. He is missed. And we are looking for him. I won't stop. Alright, so the court hearing just got over. So I'm going to give my phone about another 10-15 minutes to charge. And then I don't know what y'all's time limit is on or anything. But I was going to go check out the courthouse. Okay. There's believe it or not, there's a couple news channels up there that I have not spoken to yet. And I've talked to a lot of them. But that's all I can do, is I feel that I need to make sure that they try to keep the focus. Yes, I understand that this is going on. And I couldn't imagine how Molly's family's feeling right now. You know what I mean? They sit here and they think that, they got that closure. She's at peace. And then all of a sudden, hey,
baby, it ain't over yet.
Like, I'm sorry, Molly Tibbetts and all your family. I'm sorry. My heart, it goes out to you. My prayers and my thoughts are with you. If you're listening, I'm sorry that you have to go through this. And man, just all these old wounds just being opened up again. You see it on everybody's faces. Everybody around here, it's crazy. I just hope we gotta stay strong. We gotta stick together, and we gotta keep hope. We gotta keep hope.
me and Laura are here for you. And
Thank you.
there's hundreds of
I
people
know.
watching and hundreds of people that are at work that are going to watch this later. And I promise you, I love Xavier. He really did touch my heart. I love him and I want him to come home safe. And I don't want to see that lawyer ever scoff at the name Xavior Harrelson, scoff at it and toss it as if it is irrelevant. His name and who that baby is not irrelevant. And it shouldn't be just tossed aside because it's inconvenient for him.
Right.
And that's exactly what we witnessed today.
So the rest of that video can be found in the description. It's on Molly Golightly's channel. There is plenty more. Some before, some after what we saw, but just wanted to capture the face of the only person who is actually close to Xavier, who has stepped up to the plate. And she is not his mother. But she is an angel in my eyes. Her name is Samantha Ricks. And we should know her name too. Because she is standing up and she is saying Xavier's name through tears, through pain, and the struggle is real. And now this new information comes up and this jackass wants to just toss it to the side like it doesn't even matter. It matters. Xavier matters. It matters. And it's relevant as hell. Everybody's pointing the finger at this random dude who's a part of a sex trafficking ring. And this random dude happened to be dating Xavier's mother. 2 + 2 is 4. I'm going to need him to get it together. I'm going to really need him to get it together. Samantha, you're not alone. I want to thank Molly Golightly, Perplex QT, for bringing his story to light, at least to me, because I knew nothing about Xavier. But now I do. And so do you. And so now we all have an obligation to help them get off their asses and find this baby. Figure it out. If it happens not to be linked to that case, okay, fine. Figure it out. Oh my God. So no, I know I said I was going to let the video end after Molly and Samantha's portion, but you know, watching her in pain like that, and thank you, Molly, for supporting her like that, for strengthening her like that. Because she should feel like Superwoman with everything that she's trying to do within her heart. But it's hard to feel like Superwoman when you don't have any support at all behind you. I mean, we're here. Don't get me wrong. I know that. I mean, out there on the street, other than strangers. Where's his mom? Where's his family? Well, regardless of where they are, we know where Samantha is. She's all up in the mix. And we're all up in the mix with you, Samantha. We're going to drop those links. We're going to say his name. We will not go quietly into the night. That's just not what we do. Xavier, baby, we're here. We are here. This is heartbreaking, aggravating, and frustrating, and just like all the other stories. It just makes you want to cuss and cry at the same damn time. Seriously. Somebody asked me, how can I talk about all these things and not get emotional? And I think I do get emotional, but as far as tears, I fight them back all the time. I've had to take off the headset and walk away close the laptop. It hurts. And I'm not even on the inside. So I really empathize with Samantha because we got parents that won't even stand up for these kids like this. Don't shed a damn tear for these babies. And here she is, loving somebody else's baby. We need more people like you, Samantha. We need to find Xavier. Please look at the links in the description. Please like and share this video for Xavier, not for me. And I'll see you in the comments. Oh, no. So sorry. I can't go yet. I forgot. The whole reason I have this picture in front of me, I just got in my feelings. So I'll put the description in the link for where you can send this. But what I'm going to ask everybody that watches this video to do is take a minute. It might take more than a minute, okay? Take 5 minutes. All we're asking is that you take a picture with your "Where is Xavior" sign. And remember, his name is spelled with an O, because a lot of people accidentally put the E in there. So we need XAVIOR. Where is Xavier? We want as many pictures as we can get like this. This one came from someone who sent it in to Leave It to Beaver, as you can see in the background. Don't let me down on this, y'all. I don't think I asked for much, but I'm begging you. Let me see your "Where is Xavior" picture. Because this is awesome. And this is only 2, and it almost brought me to tears. Where you're from. Some people are putting a message. They put Bieber because they were sending it to Bieber. Whatever you want to do, just make sure "Where is Xavier" with an O. I think we should put Tennessee. This right here, his name is the most important. Okay, but here are some examples. And I will be looking for these pictures. I will start calling people out because I do know a couple of names, okay? Do it for Xavier. You're going to take 50 selfies this week, if not more. Take one that really, really counts. Look for all the links in the description. Not asking for much. A click, picture, and your time. And now, I will see you in the comments.
Tuesday marks 2 months since anyone last saw or heard from Xavior Harrelson. That 11-year-old disappeared from Montezuma trailer he shared with his mother. KCCI's Chris Gothner went to Montezuma today, where people are making sure to keep hope alive.
Today we're going to pray to the angels.
Clad in orange and packing the bleachers of Montezuma High School's football field Sunday, family and friends of Xavior Harrelson, and even those who don't know him, came by the dozens and joined in song, prayer.
We're praying for hope today.
And a release of butterflies.
They're going to carry a message to Xavier.
As a sign of hope, as the search for the missing 11-year-old nears 2 months. Even as flyers and orange ribbons became ubiquitous in this small town, there's still no sign of Xavier.
Father, I pray for truth today.
Volunteers use Sunday's vigil to hand out even more posters. No matter how long it's been, they don't want anyone to forget him. In addition to flyers, organizers handed out these little cards. They want to get Xavier's face and name to as many people and places as they can.
We are not going to back down. We're going to make sure that everybody sees his face.
And they want the Harrelson family to know this community has their back.
We are here for the duration.
They just needed a renewed sense of hope.
I don't think there are words to express how much it means to us.
Xavier's aunt, Michelle Harrelson, says the past few weeks have had their ups and downs.
Some days are better than others. A lot of days aren't good. It's a little bit of emotions every day.
But she continues to push. She says somebody knows something and needs to step forward. Everyone here has one goal.
Please just give him home. We just want him home safe.
In Montezuma, Chris Gothner, KCCI 8 News.
Tuesday will mark 2 months since the disappearance of Xavior Harrelson. Tonight, a vigil was held at Montezuma's football field to pray that he returns home safely. Local 5's Eva Anderson was there and brings us this story.
More than 75 community members showed up here to Montezuma High School football field, all in the name of 11-year-old Xavier, wearing his favorite color orange. Xavier's Warriors, hoping to bring him home. Hands clasped in prayer.
Father, we pray today for justice.
Arms holding loved ones close.
I get that heart-stopping fear as a mother.
Though Erin Johnson Foster and her son never met Xavier, they feel loss.
Xavier is just a year older than my boy.
Young Preston senses the pain too.
It's really hard for the people for the parents to know that every day the kid's missing and he's somewhere else and they don't know if he's alone.
Sunday, in spirit, Xavier certainly was not alone.
Keep his picture out, keep his name out.
More than 75 community members like Aaron and Preston joining at a vigil in support of Xavier's family, like Aunt Michelle Harrelson, who says the family is touched.
I know our whole family is really grateful. So much love and compassion and support.
But she acknowledges the wait has been frustrating, and so has chatter on social media as credible tips to law enforcement have slowed.
The more that people get on social media first, the more of a chance that somebody who does have him potentially could move him or harm him, and I don't want that to happen.
And Xavier's Warriors are making sure they do everything they can.
He's our boy. He's our hometown boy.
To help bring him home. And Preston says when that happens, he has plans that are helping him keep hope alive.
We hope we'll have a great party with most of our community and that helped us find him.
Eva Anderson, Local 5 News, We Are Iowa.
Last week, Local 5 sat down with investigators searching for Xavier to get an update on their efforts. You can find that information on our website, weareiowa.com.